Hey everybody, it's Kent here from Plugins 4D. Today I want to show you a little plugin that I've been working on, and what it is it's a node-based animation and timing tool. And you can essentially think of this as a way to animate individual parameters from going from one value to another, and then when it's finished its animation, it triggers the next one. And after that's finished, it triggers the next one, and so on and so on and so on. And each of these can have different timing associated with them. So you can see here this first one, I'm changing the size. It's going to go from this value to this value, and then after that's finished, it's going to do from whatever value it's currently at to this next value, and then when that one's finished, it's going to come in and it's going to start doing a rotation. It's going to rotate from 0 to this value, and you can just see as you go through, all these just knock-on effect, and it starts animating each one after each other. And they can have different timings. You see that this size here is going to animate for 30 frames, and this ring radius is going to animate over 10 frames. And so at any point you can come in, you can just change these values, and it'll just trigger the rest of that graph after that time has been completed. So this lets you kind of have control over the timing of like lots of other different values that are having the follow-on effect, without having to go into your timeline and select them and move them around and figure out which ones are which and which ones are connected, which I always had a problem with myself. I just like this idea conceptually. For my brain, it's a lot easier. I want to have this animation happen, and then I want this to happen straight afterwards. So that's why this tool was kind of built. And this little example is a bit trivial. You can see it's just me animating a bunch of different parameters within the scene. Now, one of the interesting things about once you have this kind of flow graph created is you can then kind of also globally retime it a little bit with some easing. You can also, if you want to, you can loop it once, so it'll just play once. You can ping pong it, so it'll go to the end, and it'll reverse itself all the way back through the animation graph to the end. And you can also loop it, so it'll go to the end, and it'll loop again, and loop again, and loop again forever. So once would just go once, loop would just go forever, repeating. And there's an extra little mode in here which gives you even more control. You can switch it from timeline-based animation to manual animation. So here now, I'm controlling that entire animation just with this one blend parameter. So I can just have the start to the end, and you can then animate this blend parameter either with maybe another flow graph, or you can animate it by the timeline manually yourself or with some other plugin. And so that gives you full control over that entire animation all the way back forward. You can do what you want there.